Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Music in the Minor League. This week marks 1 year that we've been doing the podcast, man. We did it. We made it to our anniversary. We're pretty excited about that. We hope you are too. Listenership's been great. People have been coming out to support and be guests. We're really thrilled with that. And we're glad we've made it a whole year into this. And we're at 29 episodes, so we're 3 ahead of the pace we were hoping for with 26 a year. So we're doing all right. So who are we talking to today? Well, we are talking to Steve Tagliere and Jason Bonilla of Junebird. We've known Steve for many years. We used to play with him solo. We also played with him and his wife's project called Steve Plus Mel. Man, really grew to love Steve's songwriting. And when he had a new band called Junebird coming out, we loaded up the car, drove to Denton, and saw their first show opening for Slobberbone. So they've been really just hitting the road hard since they kicked it off. And they have a really solid band. So before we get to things, let me say this. If you like the show, and we've been here a year, man, so you can get the word out, we'll stick around. Tell your friends about it, man. Please share this somewhere. Help us get the word out. It's the way we grow listenership and the way we give a stage to the bands that are out there working hard, making music and entertaining folks. So if you got the time and you got the space on your social media, please tell some folks, man. Go follow us. Click follow if you're on Apple Music or Spotify or Amazon Podcasts or whatever you're out there doing. We appreciate any help we can get to keep this thing going. All right. Now let's get to the housekeeping part of the show. To kick it off, we're going to start with some Junebird dates. Friday, December 8th, they'll be playing with Yopon at Leon's Lounge in Midtown here in Houston, 1006 McGowan Street. Be sure to go check them out, man. It'll be a great show. And then the next week, if you're on the south side of town, more toward Galveston, Clear Lake area, they'll be playing with us, with Brightwire and Grifters and Shills and the March Divide. So it's almost like a special podcast show because we got 4 people who've been on the podcast and we'll all be playing there. Show starts at 8 p.m. It'll be the last show before John from Grifters and Shills goes in for knee surgery. They're going to have to hang it up for a few months while he recovers from that. So this is your chance. Come out and see everybody, man. And also we're going to be taking a bit of a break too with the new record coming out, and it was a long year, man. Like we all do this, and we played 60 shows while working full-time jobs and doing everything else that a normal person does. So we're a little burnt at this point. The podcast will keep going, but shows are going to kind of get tight for a little bit. And so that's it for us. We have that December 16th show left on the calendar. There's a couple of so far shows, I think December 9th and December 17th. So check those out. But otherwise, this is our last big, headlining gig that we're doing full set. So we'd love to see you there, man. All right, man. Now let's kick off the show. We're going to get to it with Be a Friend from Junebird's debut album. Hope you dig it.
Be a friend.
All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of Music in the Minor League. Today we are here with Junebird, which is Jason Bonilla and Steve Tagliere. Say that correctly, right? All these years, I'm like...
Oh, yeah, close enough.
We can do it again.
Is it Tagliere?
Tagliere, yeah.
Tagliere.
All right.
We can do it again.
No, it's fine. I always just like, it's sad that Steve's the one I've known for, probably close to almost a decade now. And that's the one I messed up. So, it's okay.
Usually people mess up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did he say your name right, Jason? Okay.
Did.
All right.
Jason's got a good baseball name, like Bobby Bonilla. So it's like, how that goes.
Good baseball name.
So,
former doctor.
Yeah.
True,
For a little while.
gross, but whatever. No. So, all right, man. Y'all are here with us. So just to kick it off a little bit, we normally go through like what got you into music. So since we don't know Jason that well, let's go ahead and kick. I know you're from Bakersfield, California, played in some bands. Tell us about, your start in music.
Yeah, my start in music was just, I've listened to all your podcasts, by the way, and it seems like the common punk rock, right? I was in punk rock bands when I was in Bakersfield. So that's really what I was involved in at that time. And then I stopped playing music for a long time. And then a friend of mine in Houston had a band called the Valerie Trails, and they asked me to play guitar. And I hadn't picked up my guitar for probably 20 years, really.
Oh, wow. They were like asking on faith, huh? Like, hey, would you
I
possibly want to play in a band?
So I played a few shows with them, and then after that was over, I stopped playing again until I met up with Steve, and then got all into it again.
That's wild. So you didn't have like a no like acoustic you just beat around on. It was just like no guitar for.
Yeah, I had my electric guitar sitting out, and I would look at them when I was working and stuff, and I'd pick it up every now and then. But I just stopped playing for just a long time. But now I will always play. You got me motivated.
Yeah, that's good.
Then the other side of the coin, we have Steve, who's like, of all the people I know, period, probably the most prolific songwriter I know. Always puts in the work, does everything, plays, always has, project going. So, to go back, I know a few things about, your past, but people listening probably don't. So you started out East Coast?
I started out in Los Angeles.
Okay.
That's where I'm from, actually San Fernando Valley. And then when I was 10, we moved to Houston and lived here for junior high and most of high school. Then we moved back, and that's really when I started playing in bands, late 80s. Played in some bands in high school in Houston, but, playing Rolling Stones songs at keg parties.
Yeah.
But when we moved back to California, I really started getting into it serious, and was really into, all the stuff that was happening in college radio, I guess. In the early 80s was really into REM and stuff like that, and then got into the Replacements, and it was really kind of a great time for music and very inspiring. And in the 90s, put a band together with my brother called Ginger Saul, and we did that for about 10 years. Had a lot of different members, and that was like real band. At a certain point, we bought a van and went and drove around the country and played shows, and we were really working it and made a lot of friends and had some really good times. Made a lot of really bad decisions business wise. I had some records that didn't come out and had lawsuit. Well, not really. It was contractual things we shouldn't have signed. We were told this is okay to do, and then kind of tied us up for a while and some things like that. And I guess about 5 or 6 years into it, the lineup changed, and we ended up moving to New York, and we're there in the early 2000s. And that's really when we toured a lot and put a lot of miles underneath us. And I think there's 7 Ginger Saul records. There's hundreds of songs recorded. But then I met my wife on the road. It's a long story, but my parents were living in Katy, and so we decided to settle down, maybe start a family. So we moved here. We moved here with maybe some different ideas about how it was going to be, how it was going to turn out, and what we were going to do with our time and our art. And man, it got hard to just, pay the bills, and we had 2 little boys, and we didn't do too much. But the last 5 or 6 years, I've been doing a lot. Met Jason through our sons are friends, and we kind of met through that, and very similar tastes and backgrounds, and we're Dodger fans, and very, very close opinions.
Yeah.
against
I think
tastes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We decided to put a band together, and we were having a hard time because we live way out. We're like Fulshire, sometimes I'll joke West Katy,
Right.
but hard to find people, close out here to play with. We would get, we put some ads out and reached out to people. We were having people from Beaumont and Port Arthur. Somebody from Galveston said it's like, well, how do you make something like that work?
Right.
It's just not gonna, if we're gonna do that, we'll just call some friends in Austin or New York So we just decided to make the record and see if maybe that would help us meet people. And we ended up meeting a drummer and a bass player that live a few blocks from us.
Yeah,
out
it all
here.
worked out.
Yeah, so it's worked out pretty cool.
Location.
Yeah, so that's kind of.
I just hear you say, maybe I didn't realize this before, but you two made the record together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Just,
added a couple members after that. That's really cool.
Yep.
Did not know that. The record
We
sounds
tried to-
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Love it.
Well, do you not listen to Steve's other records he did before Junebird?
I've heard all of the
his
Steve
solo
records that we have.
records are awesome, by the way.
No, thanks.
Definitely need to listen to him.
Well, I say Steve has lots of. It's always one of those things where it's like, I've got this song, I've got this song. It's like, here's an entire book of songs, and it's like, you're working on a record. It's like, yeah, that's all. Like, that's it. We're out. We put out 10 songs. Like, for the next record, we have to completely rewrite 10 more songs.
Yeah, I was going through notebooks recently, and I figured, without going too far back, I have 27 albums worth. Like, I could make 27. Okay, that's a good ender for that record. And so there's lots of material. Jason's coming up with stuff all the time, and we've had a really good chemistry with co-writing things, and that's been really cool. Stuff that I would never come up with. He says, hey, check this out. Like, oh, wow. And then we keep working on it and turn it into something that's really cool.
Yeah, I've always been able to just do parts of songs. Like, I've never even been able to make like a full song until I met Steve. And then I just recently, I just like made probably my second song that from start to finish.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As the first time I'd ever really done that.
Yeah.
But just like, the co-writing part as well for me, just having a section and then Steve adds to it and then I add to it. And
yeah, it's been really cool.
this has been like the funnest time of my life as far as, with music. It's been amazing.
It's awesome when you meet somebody that you click with artistically.
Yeah. And I mean, just for us, it's like we were friends first, and then it's like the music kind of evolved after that. So it's been nice.
Which is rare. I have a lot of friends that are really cool. I wish they could play. I'd like to be in a group with them, But, they're not musicians, or they're not very good. And it's cool. Jason's awesome, and we just click.
I was also wondering, you said that, your kids were friends. Are they weirded out that the dads are hanging out in a band? Like, it's kind of the opposite. Like, they're sitting at home, like,
out more than they do now.
Yeah.
right? Their dads are out at some bar, like, playing in a band. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't think about it from that angle.
oh, it's got to be kind of funny, man.
Take them to shows, we'll say, hey, does anybody want to go to, this show or that show? It is the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I had to go when I was younger.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll play with us a few times. I know they've seen us more than once. They're probably like, no, absolutely no.
No, they like you guys.
That band going to be there? Like, no, thank you.
No, they're fans.
Well,
You guys are great.
I appreciate that. Obviously, we're fans, too, of y'all.
That's why we're having you here today.
Well, that was kind of, you talking about the distance thing. I was trying to weasel my way into Steve's band for a while there.
You were.
And then it was like, Sugarland was far. And my bass playing probably definitely wasn't up to Earl standards. So,
You found somebody better anyway.
Oh, you're good on bass. You're good on everything.
Yeah, I have simple stuff, but, just hold down that bass. But yeah, I guess one of the main things was, I know y'all did the record by yourselves and the two of you, and then now I know you're working on everything with Feel Bad, Earl, and what's your drummer's name?
What should we call him?
Dusty.
Yeah. Dusty B.
Man of mystery.
Yeah.
I know I've talked to a bunch, but I don't think he's ever called me like, hey man, my name is, just like, hey man, what's up? Like, hey.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
And then you reach a certain point in your relationship where you're like, I can't ask anymore. Like, it's just like, hey bud, what's going on, dude? Good to see you, my man.
It doesn't matter at that point.
Right.
I know him.
It's what was it? It was the show from Nick Offerman's character. Talk about that. Like, we worked together for 20 years. I never knew his name. It was like the best friend I ever had, So it's like that.
Yeah.
I'm not good with pop culture references anymore. I do music all the time. And I'm like, have you seen this show? Like, no, not at all.
That's your ADHD brain. It's okay.
I know I need to learn to be as focused as Steve. 'Cause I think one thing to go from the 27 albums worth of songs, it's not like you're just throwing things together. I'm sure Jason is, attest to that. Where it's not like, it's almost infuriating. It's like that's not like a throwaway song. It's not like, oh, he just went to the bar in my car and, saw some honeys from far or whatever. It's like actual real songs. It's not just like, here's some word salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I write every day at lunch at work, bring a sandwich, go into the office and write songs. I'm kind of afraid that if I stop, it'll stop.
Now, I'm with you, man. You don't want to get that because it does. You atrophy after you don't do it for a while. It's like, what do I do? I always have to have it's 78 degrees outside, northwest wind coming through at approximately 12 miles per hour, and everyone's quiet in the house. And it's like song time. The one day a year that happens.
I do need quiet to work, but I do realize that it's work. And if I don't do it every day and exercise that muscle, then it is going to go away.
I think you're right. It's a discipline.
I'm not disciplined, so bravo to you. But the musicians who have catalogs like you, who you can look back and go, oh, those aren't throwaway songs. Like, he has albums of great songs together. Like, those guys work at it,
Yeah.
And our timing would be, Steve would wake up. What time would you wake up? Like 3:30 in the morning?
3:30 or 4.
And start recording. And then I'd stay up really late till 2:30 in the morning. And we would just hand off files to each other. And it was constant.
Yeah, sometimes my phone, I have some files in our band folder, and I'll look over at my phone and oh, it's time to get up. Jason just sent me some files, and up and go into the room and work for 3 hours before it's time to go to work.
Oh wow! I'll kill you if you find a friend like Jason. I'll kill you.
I mean, I kind of do. John's up way earlier than I am, so it's always like, here's this file or here's this thing, and then I'm like, oh yeah, then I'm the one at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, my ADD stuff, my real energy hits about bedtime. It's like, dude, here's where I focus. I'm tired enough that all the excess stuff falls away. It's like I can focus for the next 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that's the way I am. It's late at night kind of thing. Whenever I sleep, then I start playing. And my son's room's right next door to where I record, but he's always banging on the wall, turn your amp down.
Yeah, back to that reverse.
Yeah, it's totally reverse. It's like they're the parents.
It's freaky every day.
Right, you keep hoping it'll be like living next to a train where it's just like, I'll get used to it. It just snores right through it. So, but anyway, the point was earlier, I kind of went off track, was I know y'all are working on the new thing. Are y'all doing more musically as a 4-piece, working out the songs musically, or are y'all still just bringing in, here's the ideas and everybody?
I think we're doing both.
Yeah, it's been both. Yeah, we had a whole set of songs for a record, and it's really good. And then we're just starting to retool it just a little bit.
Yeah.
So letting everybody add their own little pieces. Yeah.
There's some songs that we started off, as we were learning them, they kind of, because of input, they kind of started taking some turns in different directions, and that's been very exciting and cool. We did that a little bit, but it's just 2 people. With 4 people doing that and letting something kind of evolve and morph into something is pretty cool. It's something that the first record didn't have to this degree. The next record will have it, and I think it'll benefit from that.
Yeah.
And then there's some stuff, when you're, as a songwriter, you hear it a certain way.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I think it should go like this. And then there's variation on that too, that, varying degrees of letting something be organic and trying to steer it to the vision. You kind of have to get a feel for that, I guess. And that's kind of where we're at now, because we've just been playing with these guys for about a year now.
Yeah.
It's now a year, I guess. Maybe in September is a year. So
yeah, sounds right.
It takes a little while to get that. The first few months was just they needed to learn everything. So hold on, learn it quick, get up to speed, and then we started bringing in new songs and a few covers here and there. And
that's one thing with them coming from a kind of cover band, tribute band background. They're obviously disciplined in okay, we're gonna learn these songs exactly how they go. And
and that that first practice, they knew everything from the record, right?
Yes.
And they were very, I remember the first time that I came back and we played together. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just like drum clicks and it was like, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. They learned everything, like really very good attention to detail, and they really were attentive to what we did on the record. Some like things that we would, you record a song, you put a little bit of feedback on guitar, maybe you have like a little, you use a little clip of the drums and you make it sound like it's coming from an AM radio or something. Well, I've never intended that we would do that live. Right. That's just something for the recording that makes it, it's just like a little idea that, oh yeah, it's kind of cool. Leave it in. But then they were like ready to do it. They're like, okay, you have to do that thing now, and then I do this. And I'm like, oh, we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
They were like that. Right, yeah, they were like,
But it sounds so cool.
They were that pro about it. Yeah. So that was.
Or how did we? They kind of like taught us how to play some of the songs because you kind of forget. Like, oh, well, we haven't played that for a while.
Yeah, some of the songs we played, most of them, we had worked up. The two of us just kind of, stand in a room playing them. And then we recorded them, maybe we laid some drums down, but that was it. Like that time, laying those drums down, that was, the time we did it that way.
Yeah.
That one. So then it comes time to play it again. Well, I know the chords and I know how to sing it and, all of that. Well, they're saying, well, no, it does this. It does. I guess you're right.
Back. No, you're wrong. Let's listen back.
You did do that.
All right.
Because, in the moment, I've listened to the record, but it's a little bit different when you're putting the parts together and set together.
I think that was something I learned. Was it that the first album that you were recording when I met you, when we started dating, your last solo album?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that songs evolved so much. And when you're a solo artist, they evolve as much as you want them to because you play them by yourself all the time. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize, when you have someone else singing with you, you can't always evolve. That person has to know where you're going or be able to follow you. Same for when you play with each other.
Yeah.
Passive aggressive lifetime, they have to follow you and know what you're doing. Yes,
years ago, I follow you, no problem now. But yeah, it's when you're first starting to play together and you play with a very, you guys are all very capable musicians, very fun to watch. And can't believe you guys all are from the same neighborhood. That's crazy.
I know. That's what it is.
Yeah. That's how we know Junebird will never break up, is because they all live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Because we're all,
as long as nobody moves.
It's almost like you're in that high school band. Well, this guy moved away. That's like, as long as we all still live in the same neighborhood, like everyone after work, putting on their jeans and running down the street. We're going to his house to practice.
Yeah.
I'll be back, see him running down the road.
Funny.
And when we started, because we were like local, mm-hmm. and then we were thinking, let's get some people in. And now I'm the farthest one away. I'm the one that's traveled the farthest to get to practice.
That's true.
How far away are you?
Oh, it's like 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all. No bridges, no,
nothing.
Yeah, like Earl's house, I can almost see it.
Okay.
From my second story window over here. I can almost see his house. That's how close he is.
Why didn't Earl answer this text? I could see his lights on. Damn it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does he think of this new song? No, that's great. That's just how I would be.
And Earl worked together.
Yeah, he was telling me that at our last gig together.
Go to work together, and then for, 2 months, when it was hot, his car doesn't have air conditioning. Actually, edit that out. I couldn't say it.
Leave that in.
But anyways, we drove to work together, and it was cool getting to know him, and we listened to music, and I think it helped us kind of understand where each other was coming from. We like a lot of the big things, mm-hmm. but he had never really listened to things like Wilco, which I really like. And it was cool to, play that with him and talk about it and, listen to things, because it was an hour ride each way. So that was cool. That was a good benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's some good quality, almost like tour time. Like, listen to this, check this record out.
Yeah. And we were like, did you hear that? That was so cool. What is that? What do you think that is? Is that a keyboard or is that a guitar effect? Talking about stuff like that, which was cool. It It's good.
I didn't realize that people sat around and broke down music like that until I met Sam. Like, I was just did it in my own head, but I never talked to anybody about it. And I didn't know that other people thought the way that I did sometimes, like until I met other musical people. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to get there and be like, well, how do I do that? And sometimes you come up with ways of doing it that aren't at all how they did it. It's like, it sounds pretty much the same.
Yeah. Sometimes you start off trying for something and you discover something new, which is cool.
So to go back, I'm going to see, because y'all had like a pretty, y'all's first show y'all played was in Denton with Slobberbone.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of an interesting way. Of course, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Steve's music. I know Brent and everybody. So I was like, do I get to see Slobberbone and Steve's new band? Like, hell yeah, we'll go up to Denton for the weekend.
Yeah.
And which I almost blew it because I told somebody like online and I thought it was private or something. And I was like, oh no, they can, hopefully Steve doesn't see them. Like, yes, we're coming to the show tonight. I don't think you did. So that worked out. I was interested to say, so was that like someone you knew them from when you were in Gingersaw? Did y'all do shows together? Okay.
We played a bunch of shows with them and Centromatic. Did a bunch of shows with Centromatic. Did a bunch of different bands, but those guys are in Texas and keep in touch with them pretty good. Scott from Centromatic has played on some of my solo records. But I would reach out to Brent from time to time. I was like, hey man, got a new band. Want to do a show? Sometimes, he's like, oh, I'm going to be traveling or the timing's not right. This time he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then he sent dates and we're like,
and
cool.
Steve told me, he's like, oh, our first gigs was Slobberbone. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right, I know. It's like, well, it has. It's been a good run already. I mean, y'all did that. Then, y'all got to play with us, which was badass for y'all. And,
It always is. I love you guys.
I know, but it's just funny going back to times. It was like, hey, man, we're playing like this coffee shop, Steve, and there's going to be like 7 people there. You want to come? I'm like, okay. You and Mel want to play? Sure.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm glad you brought the kids. At least it doubled the audience, so thanks.
Yeah.
And then, y'all did right after that, y'all did all this, like, some South by Southwest shows, like, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
Some good shows.
Yeah. It's hard, making inroads. It's just hard to get in with clubs. And, I think Houston is kind of an odd city for that. But everybody we're meeting is very nice and very cool. I wish there was more people like Alan at, Big Top and places like that, that's when you guys got us in over there.
Yeah. Big Top's been great.
That's been a pretty fun place to play. And 2024, more of the same.
I do think you're right. I think it has changed since the pandemic. It's been odd getting in places.
It's been kind of odd because, you had time in New York. It's like Houston's almost like an entire region of the Northeast. Like, driving across Houston, you can be like 2 states away up there. So it's kind of like
very true.
You could play 3 nights in Houston, 4 nights, and not even be within 25 miles of the show that happened, 30 miles.
True.
Can be on tour just being in Houston.
And it's weird in Houston, the other cities that I've lived in, a lot of the clubs, they put the nights together.
Yeah.
Here, you kind of put the night together. If you approach the club and say, hey, we'd like to do this, or do you have anything? And then they say, well, maybe I can stick you on with this thing. But that's kind of an anomaly. The way they do it is, entire nights. And before you would call a club and they'd be like, okay, what do you guys like? And check it out. Okay, yeah, you'll work on the bill on Thursday the 20th. And then you're one of 5 bands that, starts on the hour, 45-minute set, and you do it and you don't know any of the other people. They don't know you. And then you start making friends that way. And this seems, it's hard because most of the people you're playing with, you know them. That's why you're playing with them.
Right. Yeah.
And it's hard to make the circle bigger and hard to a lot of times you're playing for, your friends and your crowd. And, I think there's a benefit to, showing up to a place and not knowing anybody and trying to make friends. Are we connecting with anyone?
Right. That's really a lot of the reason we tour as much as we do, because the only people we meet outside of like our 5 to 8 bands we play with all the time are from out of town when they're like, hey, we're trying to play this place. We need a local. And then you meet people that way. And then it's like, hey, if y'all ever come up through like Little Rock, if y'all ever come up through Memphis, like hit us up. It's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. There are certain areas that have different bands, but even that, like for us, we're working on it, man. Like we constantly, that was a big catalyst behind this was to try to like show there's this whole music community here and kind of like start, okay, here's a name I can go look for. And
the podcast, I love the podcast. I've listened to every single episode, by the way.
You're the one. All right. We know who it is now.
Thanks,
I'm that dealer.
But it's been good because that was our deal. It's like we're doing this. Hey, no one's talking to any of us. You know, it's like we've got Houston Press and the Houston Chronicle, and they're like literally one dude for each place. So unless you know somebody who, you know, knows somebody, I mean, we got, you know, our Houston Press write-up was because our artist is kin to the music writer for the Houston Press. So that's how we got it. It's like, oh, my nephew did his artwork. So we'll check that band out. And luckily liked it, but still, you never would have looked at it. It would have been like, oh, my nephew did that band's artwork, you know? So it's like, oh, cool.
Well, in a city of 4 million people,
Right.
there's a lot of bands here and a lot of different genres. Like, they can't cover all that.
And I feel like we need to get back to like the old 80s stuff. Like people can start doing zines about local bands and
Right.
Oh, yeah.
passing stuff around. Like, here.
This is really great you're doing this for that same reason.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that there's a need, and this is important. Very cool.
And
Just to
people
keep
like
things
podcasts
out there.
for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, man, it's kind of like it's like a short version of it's like a chapter from an audio book. Because really, these reminded me, we were on this summer, we did This Band Could Be Your Life, because, hey, I'd never read it, and I knew all the bands, but we listened to that, we went out to New Mexico and back, and it was nice, because it was like, oh, here's an hour on, like, each band. So it was like an entire podcast season that was a book, you know.
Yeah, that's a great book.
It was cool, kind of like to show them, because it's like, oh, who's Purdue? That's the song that Junebird does. Like, see, that's that band. It was like, oh, okay.
That's right, because I didn't know.
What's that?
Do what?
Michael Azerrod?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I remember really liking that book.
Yeah, it was cool, man. Like all those bands I knew and loved, except for I think Beat Happening was the only band I didn't really have any sort of history with as a listener. But then it was just like, okay. But then I went and checked them out after the fact. But it was like, I mean, all those bands I'd never read it for some reason. I was like, let's get it. It'll be good. Like music history driving. You know, we know what we're doing here.
We learn a lot about music on the road.
Yep.
Plus, it's just good to show that things never change. Like, you know, we went through Steve. I can't remember. No. Steve from Mudhoney, the lead guitar player. Steve Turner, that's it. So we were reading his book, they were talking about that, you know, like early before like 90, that it was like our scene was like, you know, you went and saw Soundgarden, it was like all the other bands watching, no real fans, and then, you know, the next band got up and the audience was Soundgarden for Mudhoney. Yeah. And, you know, it was like that. It's like there was no people really coming. He goes, it was all just like all the bands were the only audience. And then it slowly started growing, and then whatever happened that led to it cracking the mainstream was really Sub Pop, but then then it just went from nobody to everybody instantaneously. So I'm always like, yeah, I can relate to that here, where it's like, all right, we're done now. We're going to stand here and watch this. Or we're not playing tonight. We're going to go see this band because, you know, need to make sure there's some people there.
Also, we like to go see live bands.
Yeah.
But, you know, you also want to make sure your friends can get booked there again, so then you can jump on a...
Yeah.
You know, keep your scene going, though. It really is just supporting what you do and the people people you enjoy and care about. So it's kind of funny how that works. How, you know, as much as you feel it's different, you know, 50 years later, 40 years later, it's like, no, it's still working pretty much the same.
It's true. Very true.
All right. So as far as the new record goes, are y'all currently tracking it, or y'all have a timeline on it, or?
We're going to, it's kind of on pause. We've had some, you know, people just with work and stuff.
Yeah.
So we got a show on Friday in Houston, then the following weekend in Austin, and then November and December we'll be here in this room finishing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's wrap it up.
Banging it out. We're just going to keep recording. If we, you know, record all 10 or 13 songs for it, you know, in November, then we'll just keep going, and maybe we'll record another record in December, or maybe in January. We'll have to carve out time to finish the 13. Who knows?
Holidays are a good time because it's where it's like, it's hard to book, especially this year with everything being on the weekend. So it's like, I know we can't book shows for like 3 weeks there because that's the Saturday it's going to be Christmas parties. The next weekend's going to be actually Christmas. Next weekend, New Year's Eve. Yeah.
December is so busy. It's, you know, sometimes, you know, there's some good holiday events at clubs to get in on, but I found that it gets really hard to get people out in such a busy month.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's got something going on.
Yeah.
So, you know, your favorite musician is holed up at home writing or recording during the month of December.
Working on some adventures for writing about.
But this new record, I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a step forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I played a couple songs at the Big Top show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah. I mean, they're all good.
Some of the new ones are staples now in our set. You know, I think 2 or 3 of them, you know, we play most shows, and they're some of the funnest ones now.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's hard to tell the difference, like I say, between Jason and Earl, man, bouncing around. It's like everybody seems really excited.
I'm always trying not to embarrass Steve, and like, I'm going to do shoegaze tonight.
I can embarrass myself.
And then I fly in the air and crash into Steve.
Yeah, you never embarrass me.
That's what I'm saying. It's better, you know. Someone's got to be the idiot on stage. I'm the one for our band. You know, you're the one for Junebird.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't just stand here. Like, we got done playing at Swing Station last week. Sound guy's like, you really get into the music. I was like,
you gotta.
Yeah, sorry.
Somebody has to. It's mine.
So shy. I mean, would not stand in front of people, and as soon as
then the rock starts happening,
then it just
takes over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boys got a boogie woogie,
and then you just jump in the air.
Yeah.
Which makes y'all really fun to watch. So.
Thank you.
I would jump in the air, but I'm afraid that I would break an ankle on the way down. Wind up in the hospital.
It's going to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Right, just like, But I've seen that happen with young bands. I saw a young band one time where the guy jumped up and landed on a monitor and blew his knee out on stage. Had to like pull a chair out, and about 2 songs later was like, I can't play anymore, it hurts. And went to the hospital. So it was like, you know, sometimes things happen. Can't be safe forever. You just got to jump around and act like an idiot. I don't jump around as much anymore. I've broke firmly into my 40s, so it's like, you know, back and hop and stomp. And
Hop and stomp.
There's the name of the next record.
Right? Hop and stomp. At least we got that part out of the way. We have a theme to go for. Which is funny, because the current one, everyone who we've let listen to, it's like, are y'all okay? Are you and Kim's relationship okay? Michael, we did write most of this sitting at home together during the pandemic and couldn't go anywhere. It wasn't really at us. It was more of just the situation, like, I want to leave. I want to go somewhere.
I want to leave my house. Let's go to the Grand Canyon.
Right. Let's just get the hell out of here, please. So, you know, it's always good to have themes come through in the records.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's a good one. Yeah, Helf came up with, we were like, we're a podcast, we need to have a segment. Like something we do every time.
Where we have to eat hot wings.
It's actually a pretty good one. It's a pretty easy one. So it's more of just kind of flipping the tables on y'all, where it's like both of you can name 1 to 3 bands that you think people listening need to check out that y'all are aware of. Preferably not like, oh man, Metallica's cool. It's like, you know, more like indie bands that you think people should check out.
Yes.
I just sent Steve.
Yes, this is a great record.
All right, yeah. Well, who's this person?
Allegra
Okay.
Krieger, right?
Yes. Okay. Allegra Krieger. So I found this record a couple days ago, and I sent it to Steve. I was like, listen to this. It's really good. So that would be my pick, not your pick.
Mm-hmm.
You got one, Steve? You can have more than one.
Well,
It's to make up for our lack of preparation by just springing something.
Right. We just spring things.
Another band that I just love is Wipers. The Wipers.
Yes.
Do you guys? I mean, that's not new or anything, but that is. Whenever I hear that guitar playing, that is like my favorite.
Yeah, I was pretty clueless to them until like during the whole shutdown thing. I walked my dog we were walking 2-3 hours a day, and I just listened to everything, put on playlists, and just let them go. And that was the one band that every time I was like, who is this? And I was like, Wipers. Like, I need to go get more than like all these other bands I love were just like, the Wipers are great.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah. I think, were they from Portland? I think Portland.
Yeah,
it's
Pacific
Portland.
Northwest.
Yes.
I think it's Portland.
Yeah.
Greg Sage.
I would say, yes, Greg Sage.
Yeah.
Neither of these have, I don't think they have new records, but this guy, Doug Burr, who's also a Denton guy.
Okay.
I really like his songwriting. And this band called Caliphone from Chicago.
Yeah.
They used to be Red Meat, or the main guy, or a couple of guys from Red Meat. I go back to those records a lot. I think they had a record that came out last year, actually. But not too many people know of either of those people, and I think they're worthy of some listens.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we play with?
Yeah.
Tony Castillo. who we played with at the Big Top Lounge. I've known him for a lot of years. He's really great. He lives in Austin now. He used to live in Houston. He's a really talented guy. His band is good, and then when he plays by himself, it's great.
Yeah, Cody's always great.
Yeah.
And we're playing with him on November 5th, I believe, at Hole in the Wall in Austin.
Yes.
Nice.
Saturday.
That's a great room too. So
Yeah.
Have you all played there?
no, but I've had friends of ours I've seen play there.
And then
We
Daily
should go up and
Worker
play there together.
is also playing.
Yeah, Daily
They're
Worker.
headlining.
Yeah, they're really good.
Cotton Mather.
Yeah, that guy used to be in Cotton Mather. What's his name? Can't remember his name. I should know his name because we're friends on Facebook. But he's really good. Daily Worker, kind of a Beatlesy, Kinks, Zombies kind of thing.
Right on. I'm a big Kings fan, so that's a good sales point for me.
Yeah, me too.
Those were my bonding things. I had a long lost, be weird for a second. I had like, I guess, an uncle that my grandfather had a kid during World War II in Europe, and he finally found us, and our thing where we got along, so we went into like a 2-hour conversation on the Kinks. So
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, cool, man. I'm glad I like. I was like,
Yeah.
Music brings people together.
right.
Yeah.
It was just totally like, hey, what's up? Like, hey, you know, that means like, you like music? Oh, I love music. My favorite band's the King. Like, oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's a good sales point for me. So
We hope to see you there in Austin.
that's the 5th. Yeah, I think we're playing that.
Sam's like shaking his head. Yeah, sure.
It's on the 5th. That's a Sunday. You're playing in Austin on Sunday.
No. Oh, okay, 4th. It's a Saturday night.
4th.
Saturday.
Yeah. We're actually playing the Big Top that night, so we'll be thinking about y'all while we're there.
We'll think about you guys too.
Yes. We'll go up there and play at the Hole in the Wall.
Yeah, that'd be rad. That's a cool room, man. It's a cool venue, period. There aren't a lot of cool places in Austin much these days. Like there in Saxon Pub and...
Yeah. Have you guys played at Sea Boys?
There we go.
It's on Congress. Yeah.
I want to play there again.
I think you guys would do really well. We played a South by Southwest party there. It was really, really cool. We played with a bunch of cool people were on the bill. We were really blessed and grateful to be on that bill. We played with John D. Graham and Silos, and it was really cool.
Yeah, that was a great
you guys would
show.
do great at Sea Boys. It's really cool.
And we only had 3 songs, and the crowd was going. I mean, that was a great show. Like the energy of that one, I didn't want to stop. They actually came up on stage and like, you guys only get 4 songs or 3 songs, and we're like, we've only done 2. Get off stage. And by the way, do you have a capo? Because we lost our capo.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great.
And then because Steve had forgotten, and then I remember I jumped off stage and ran into my bag, got me a capo, jumped back on stage, and I was playing out of John D. Graham's amp, who had turned it up to 10. By the way, it's so damn loud.
Yeah, no overdrive pedal.
Yeah,
Work the tubes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But dancing like that show was, to me,
Yeah, it was good.
the highest energy show we've had. So, besides Slaughterbone, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
So.
It's good, man, to have. We were talking about that last week. Some of those shows you get to, like, all right, you got like 30 minutes to go or 25 minutes. It's just like, okay, there's no holding back. Like, these are the best songs, and we're going to go as hard and as fast for me. And I'm going to shut up and not talk 5 minutes between each song. And, we're just going to go out and just plow through 25 songs as high energy as possible, or 25 minutes.
You just got to kind of, hope that it sounds good and not spend too much time on it and just go.
Yeah.
Just get into it.
Yeah, and people like instantly are like, yeah, they're going for it. Like I said, man, there's energy there, and it's like I said, songs are good, man. Like you can hold, you can hold your own with any band.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I'm saying that as a long-term Steve fan, so
yeah, Steve is a talent, and I want people to hear Steve's songs.
Oh, thanks.
Sure.
that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, we just met. I think it was just Steve just messaged me like a cold call, like, hey, man, I'm here in the area. Like, I'm starting to play again. I have this band. Like, you ever need an opener? I was like, if you're willing to do this, man.
I think I saw a clip. I used to, me and my wife, Mel, you guys know Mel.
Yeah.
We play at this place, Waldo's
Yeah.
Heights. And when I wanted to get out and start playing again, so I was like looking up, well, who's playing places? And then I saw a clip with you on there, and I was like, well, this guy's awesome. Let's see if maybe he wants to do a show. And
It worked out.
That's the preview clip right there. That's
This
what we're
guy's
going to
awesome.
play.
That was your sound bite
Right.
forever.
Is Waldo still around? Is that place still around?
it's
It's
something
called
else.
EQ Heights now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a different layout. It was weird. Like, We used to love playing there because it was like you're playing in a house, but like for being all wood, like everything just sounded really good there.
Kind of cool, and it had, before the lighting was cool.
Yeah.
Now the lights are like very bright, like, and they're on or off, and it feels kind of weird. I played there a few times at, what's it called?
EQ Heights.
EQ Heights, yeah, and it's not as I don't know. It's more awkward now, I think.
It's not as cool. It's still a great place, and it's a local coffee shop that you should check out, support.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I like playing there. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was super nice.
But it also was, it just didn't have the same, like I say, they opened it up more to make it more, I guess, friendly from a viewer standpoint, but it just doesn't sound the same as it used to. We did something there with John.
Probably a better place to go and with your laptop.
Yeah.
It's more suited for that. But if they would get a dimmer switch or something for
bring the lights down a touch.
Yeah.
It'd
be a little more sexy.
That's what I say. A lot of people play, they don't do all the sexy romantic songs like you do. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve has a bunch of that.
Yeah.
Walk around the house. Mel, I wrote this for you. It's like.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just hear my dog. Like, squeak, 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 squeak.
You too.
All right, man. Trying to think. Well, before we end it, is there anything else anything y'all got going on that y'all want us to know about?
Vote. Everybody get out and vote.
Agree with that.
And then our shows are October 27th. That's coming up. I don't know if this
probably won't be ready.
Probably won't be aired at the time, but
in January.
In January, we have Dan Electro.
There's a cool band. This guy just moved to Houston.
Kerosene Stars,
yeah. Scott, very cool band. And they're starting to play. He asked us to play with them in January.
Yeah.
At the Dan Electros.
Oh, right on, man.
Nice.
That's our first show of 2024.
Yes. I think it's like the 20th or 21st or something like that. But yeah,
they're really great.
Yeah, very good.
All right, man. Well, thank y'all for coming and talking to us, man. As always, we'll see you around soon.
Yes, thank you. You all have a good rest of your week.
All right, we will.
Bye.
All right, y'all, that was it, our anniversary episode of Music in the Minor League. We hope you enjoy it. We're going to take a couple of weeks off because Thanksgiving's next week, and then we'll all be fat and lazy from all the turkey, so we're going to take the week after that off as well. We will return the first Wednesday of December, so be looking on the lookout for that. As always, share. If you're in a band and you want to be on the show, let us know. If you're an artist and you do band artwork, flyers and stuff, let us know. We'd love to talk to you. That's all we got for now. We appreciate your time. And sorry, Kim, I'm going to do this. This is my favorite song about Intelligent Bear from Junebird. It's called Oh So Bright. See you next time. Bye-bye.